A friend quit his job to do YouTube full time. 6 months in, he was spending 4 hours a day in YouTube Studio, not creating, not planning, just refreshing dashboards, watching numbers flicker, checking graphs. When I asked him what decisions came from all that checking, he went quiet, stared at his phone. Then he said, I don't think I've made a real decision in months. I just watch the numbers and feel bad when they're down and anxious when they're up because I don't know why. He had every metric memorized: CTR, AVD, impressions, RPM, subscriber net change, traffic sources broken down by hour. He could tell you his top performing videos' watch time curve by memory, but he couldn't tell you what to do about any of it. If you've ever felt paralyzed by your analytics, you're not broken. You're responding exactly how YouTube designed you to respond. I run 4 YouTube channels. At my peak, I was producing 20 videos a week using automated systems I built myself. I'm obsessed with efficiency, with systematizing everything that can be systematized, and I still found myself checking Studio 40 times a day. Not because my system needed me to, because the dashboard was designed to make me feel like I had to. Here's what they don't tell you. YouTube Studio shows you 47 different metrics. 3 of them actually matter for your channel's growth. The rest exist for one reason: to keep you engaged with the platform, not to help you make better content, to keep you checking, refreshing, coming back. And the metrics that actually predict your channel's future? YouTube buries them. Not hidden exactly, but surrounded by so much noise that most creators never notice which numbers actually connect to growth. You open Studio in the morning, check your views, they're up, dopamine hit. Check at lunch, they've plateaued, mild anxiety, check before bed. They're down slightly, can't sleep. You open the app at 2 a.m. just to see if anything changed. Nothing did. You check anyway. This isn't about you being weak or obsessive. I built systems to automate my entire production workflow: scripts, editing, thumbnails, scheduling, everything optimized. 30-minute videos, high output, sustainable process. But my analytics checking that I couldn't systematize, because YouTube Studio is engineered to bypass systems thinking. It's designed like a slot machine. Real-time data, constant updates, numbers that change every time you refresh. It creates the same behavioral loop that keeps people pulling slot machine levers. The feedback is immediate, variable, and never quite satisfying enough to stop checking. Even with 4 channels running, I couldn't automate the anxiety. I'd check one channel, see the numbers were fine, then immediately check the next one, just in case. The automation made my production sustainable, but the analytics dashboard made my mental state unsustainable. And here's what makes it worse. Every metric seems important. Views matter, right? Of course, watch time, obviously subscribers. That's the whole point. CTR, AVD, impressions, RPM, traffic sources, returning viewers, new viewers. Each one feels like a piece of the puzzle. So you track them all, try to optimize them all. Make spreadsheets, build dashboards, check correlations. But you can't optimize everything. When you try to improve all 47 metrics, you improve none of them. You make decisions based on conflicting signals. Your CTR is up, but your AVD is down. Which do you fix? Your views are up, but your RPM dropped. Is that good or bad? Your subscribers are growing, but your impressions are falling. What does that mean? The paralysis isn't from lack of data. It's from too much data without a framework for what matters. And meanwhile, your creative energy, the thing that actually builds your channel, gets drained by analysis. You spend 4 hours in Studio and 30 minutes creating. You optimize last week's video instead of planning next week's. You know everything about what happened and nothing about what to do next. This is by design. YouTube's business model requires your engagement, The more time you spend on platform, including in studio, the more valuable you are to them. So the dashboard gives you endless things to check, track, and worry about. It keeps you engaged, but it doesn't keep you growing. Let me show you something. I tracked every single metric in YouTube Studio for 6 months, all 47 of them. Daily logs, spreadsheets. I wanted to know which ones actually predicted changes in my channel's growth, not described growth after it happened, predicted it before it was obvious. Views, they lagged. By the time my views were noticeably up, the growth had already been happening for 2 weeks. Same with watch time, same with subscribers. These metrics told me what already happened. They didn't tell me what was coming. Revenue, that's a lagging indicator of lagging indicators. RPM fluctuates based on advertiser demand, not your content quality. It'll make you panic over things completely outside your control. Impressions? Misleading. YouTube can show your video to 10 million people, but if nobody clicks, it doesn't matter. High impressions with low CTR actually signals to the algorithm that your content isn't resonating. Most of the 47 metrics are like this. They're either lagging indicators that describe history, or they're volatile signals that don't connect to decisions you can actually make. They're not useless, they're just not predictive. They tell you what happened, not what to do. But 3 metrics preceded every major shift in my channel. When these 3 moved, my channel was about to change, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. But they predicted it 7 to 14 days before it showed up in views or subscribers. YouTube gives you 47 metrics because comprehensive data keeps you engaged. They give you 3 metrics that actually matter because those are harder to find. You have to dig. You have to know what to ignore. And most creators never figure out which is which, so they track everything, optimize nothing, and wonder why their channel feels like a mystery they can't solve. Here's what actually matters, the 3 metric system. These are the only numbers I check anymore, and I check them on a schedule, not compulsively. Metric 1, click-through rate, CTR. This measures your packaging, your title, and thumbnail. It answers one question. When YouTube shows your video to someone, do they click? This is the only metric that measures your first promise. Before anyone watches your video, they see your packaging. CTR tells you if that packaging works. If your CTR is below 4%, your packaging is weak. If it's above 8%, your packaging is strong. Everything in between is average. Why this matters? CTR is directly controllable. You can change your title right now. You can update your thumbnail, and you'll see results within hours. It's immediate feedback on creative decisions, and it's the first gate. If people don't click, nothing else matters. Your video could be perfect, but if the packaging doesn't work, nobody sees it. When to check CTR after you change a title or thumbnail? Not every hour, not every day. When you make a packaging decision, check the result in 24 to 48 hours, then leave it alone. Metric 2, average view duration as a percentage, not the minutes, the percentage. AVD percentage measures your content delivery. It answers, once people click, do you keep the promise your packaging made? This is where most creators go wrong. They optimize CTR without optimizing AVD. So they get great clicks and terrible retention. The algorithm learns this creator makes promises they don't keep, and it stops showing their videos. AVD percentage needs to be above 50% for the algorithm to trust you. Below 40%, your content isn't delivering on your packaging promise. Between 40 and 50, you're in algorithm limbo. Above 60%, you're in the top tier of creators. Why this matters? AVD percentage is your credibility score with the algorithm. High AVD tells YouTube, When you show this person's videos, people stay. That's valuable. Show more. Low AVD tells YouTube this creator wastes viewers' time. Show less. When to check AVD, weekly pattern analysis, not per video obsession. Look at your last 10 videos. Is your average AVD trending up or down? That's your signal. Individual video AVD fluctuates based on topic, length, audience. The pattern matters, not the individual data points. Here's the thing about CTR and AVD together. They have to work in tandem. If your CTR is 8% and your AVD is 35%, you're making clickbait. People click, then leave. Algorithm punishes that. If your CTR is 3% and your AVD is 65%, you're underpackaging great content. The few people who find it love it, but not enough people are finding it. You need both. And when you track both together, you see the real picture. Good CTR with good AVD, you're growing. Good CTR with bad AVD, you're burning algorithmic trust. Bad CTR with good AVD, you're under marketing quality content. Metric 3, traffic source. Browse features. This is buried in your traffic sources. You have to dig for it, but it's the most important leading indicator you have. Browse features means YouTube is recommending your video on the home page in suggested videos in subscription feeds. This is algorithmic distribution. This is YouTube saying, we trust this content enough to show it to people who didn't search for it. When your browse features traffic goes up as a percentage of your total views, your channel is about to grow. When it goes down, your channel is about to plateau or decline. This metric predicts the future. Why this matters. Search traffic is limited. Only so many people search for your topic. Browse features is unlimited. YouTube can recommend your video to millions. And when they start doing that, your channel explodes. When they stop, your growth stalls. Most creators obsess over views and subscribers. Those are outcomes. Browse features is the cause. It's the algorithm deciding to distribute your content. And it happens before the views spike, before the subscribers flood in. It's the early warning system. When to check browse features, monthly trend review. Look at your last 30 days compared to the previous 30 days. Is browse features growing as a percentage of your traffic? You're on an upward trajectory. Is it shrinking? You need to improve CTR and AVD. The algorithm is losing trust. That's it. 3 metrics. CTR tells you if your packaging works. AVD tells you if your content delivers. Browse features tells you if the algorithm trusts you enough to distribute widely. Everything else in YouTube Studio, it's either a lagging indicator or a vanity metric. It describes what already happened. It doesn't tell you what to do next. Let me tell you what happened when I started tracking only these 3. For 6 months before, I was checking everything, all 47 metrics, multiple times a day, making decisions based on whatever number looked weird that morning. My CTR dropped 0.3%. I'd change my thumbnail. My RPM was down. I'd panic about advertiser demand. My impressions were up, but my views were flat. I'd refresh the dashboard 20 times trying to understand why. I was exhausted. And my channel was stuck at the same subscriber count for 4 months. I was creating constantly, analyzing constantly, and going nowhere. Then I ran the experiment. 6 months of data, every metric logged daily, and I tracked which metrics moved before my channel had major shifts. Not during before. The results were clear. 3 weeks before my first viral video, my browse features traffic started climbing. My views hadn't changed yet. My subscribers were flat. But browse features was up 15% week over week. That was the signal. 2 weeks before a major slump, my AVD percentage started dropping. My views were still strong. I was celebrating. But my AVD had gone from 58% to 47% over 3 videos. I didn't notice because I was watching views. Views stayed high for another week, then they crashed. The AVD predicted it. Every single major change in my channel over 6 months, 3 growth spikes, 2 slumps, 1 plateau, was preceded by movement in these 3 metrics: views, watch time, subscribers. They all lagged by 7 to 14 days. They told me what already happened. CTR, AVD, and browse features told me what was about to happen. Since I switched to the 3 metric system, I check Studio 3 times a week. Tuesday morning, Friday afternoon, Sunday night. I look at CTR on my most recent video. I check my 10 video AVD average. I review my 30-day browse features trend, takes 15 minutes total, and I've made more smart decisions in 3 months than I made in a year of compulsive checking because I'm not drowning in data. I'm focused on signals that actually connect to actions I can take. My CTR is low. I test new packaging. My AVD is dropping. I tighten my scripts. My browse features is shrinking. I know I need to improve both CTR and AVD because the algorithm is losing trust. The irony? My channel grew faster when I stopped checking constantly, not because ignorance is bliss, but because clarity beats comprehensive data every time. Remember my friend, 4 hours a day in studio, no real decisions? I sent him this framework. He texted me back 3 weeks later. I checked studio twice this week. Both times I made an actual decision. CTR was low. I changed my thumbnail. It worked. That's it. I feel like I got my brain back. That's what the 3 metric system does. It gives you your brain back, your creative energy back, your time back. Because you're not trying to optimize 47 different numbers that may or may not matter. You're focused on 3 numbers that actually predict your channel's future. YouTube profits when you're confused, when you're checking constantly, when you're paralyzed by conflicting data. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's their business model. The more time you spend on platform, the more valuable you are to them. So they give you 47 metrics to track, most of which don't help you at all. Clarity is your rebellion. Knowing which 3 metrics matter is how you take back control, not control over the algorithm. You never had that. Control over your decisions, control over your time, control over what you pay attention to. Here's what I want you to do. Right now, open YouTube Studio, find your CTR on your most recent video, find your average AVD percentage across your last 10 videos, go to traffic sources, and find your browse features percentage for the last 30 days. Screenshot those 3 numbers, then close Studio. You don't need to check anything else today. Those 3 numbers tell you everything you need to know about where your channel is and where it's going. If your CTR is above 6%, your AVD is above 50%, and your browse features is growing, you're on the right track. Keep doing what you're doing. If any of those 3 is weak, you know exactly what to fix. Low CTR, packaging, low AVD, content delivery, shrinking browse features. Both CTR and AVD need work. That's clarity. That's power. That's the difference between analyzing everything and understanding what matters. YouTube wants you analyzing. Your channel needs you creating. Focus on 3 metrics. Ignore the rest and watch what happens when you stop drowning in data and start making decisions based on what actually predicts growth. You now know which metrics matter and which ones are destroying you, but knowing doesn't stop the behavior. There's a reason you're still pushing too hard even after watching this. The 5 signs you're past the breaking point. If the next video's already on your screen, you know what to do.